this week's food word of the week is funny. It is Bill Clinton taking on who?
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner?
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner. So, Andy, tee us up. I'm going to, do my quick research,
Right.
and then we'll
Get the heights and stuff. These are two of possibly the most famous ladies' men in recent
sex
memory.
icons.
Sex icons, certainly you could say that. Because, I'm trying to think. Hugh Hefner, that's obvious, Playboy. But if you bring Bill Clinton in the mix, I feel like some people might initially be like, oh, Bill Clinton is like the next biggest ladies' man. But try and name one that's bigger than him. I don't think there's any movie star that beats Bill Clinton.
Also, for a little bit different reasons, like their status in the world is different as to why Bill Clinton became a sex icon. So, just coming off the charts here, Bill Clinton is a large man coming in at 6'2", shares a height with me. Yeah, we're tall, not a big deal. Hugh Hefner, on the other hand, he's 5'9". He's a fair height. So, take with that what you will. People know how I usually side on this. I'm almost going to instantly contradict myself because Hugh Hefner has, people say people higher up in politics, they've seen some shit. They know all these crazy things. Bill Clinton has definitely seen his fair share of shit.
Flew with Epstein 23 times.
Yeah, whether it be creepy shit or whatever it is.
Or 36
Hugh Hefner,
something.
on the other hand, has dealt with some shit. You don't do what he does and not deal with some shit yourself.
No, he essentially ran brothels for
and everybody
decades.
loved it. It wasn't like this guy's a woman. No, everybody was like, yeah, Playboy, we love it. Let's get it going.
I think by the time people were the Gen Pop was starting to get mad at that thing, he was basically grandfathered into sex. Not sex trafficking, but prostitution, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
no, they
did.
Just
shy of prostitution.
No, it was. Well, I guess you didn't necessarily have to pay, but if you went to the Playboy Mansion, it was happening. Those girls were essentially paid to.
That was probably a crazy time to live in. When you could when you were an A-list celebrity and you can get invited to a party at the Playboy Mansion.
It probably still happens, but it was a big deal.
Vince from Entourage got invited.
Yes,
got invited there
all
once.
the Entourage guys. That's what I'm saying. It was big up until about that time, the late 2010s or something like that, and then it kind of people were like, "This is kind of gross."
I'm sure the 70s were the heyday at the Playboy Mansion.
They were probably doing some crazy shit.
I think that. So Bill Clinton, like you said, he's bigger. He's got those Arkansas fists. I feel like he's a tough.
Wasn't he a
tough
farmer
guy.
or no?
I would guess that he was a farmer.
He's probably if he wasn't, he's probably made the claim that he was a farmer.
Right. But Hugh Hefner, he seems like a really scrappy guy because even though he is a lot shorter, he is obviously a very successful businessman. Whether you agree with his business or not, doesn't really matter. He died with a ton of money. So he was also very skinny. He seems like a wiry guy. He doesn't seem weak. He just seems wiry to me. He seems like a real scrappy character who is able to finesse his way. He's also kind of used to bigger guys looking down on him, I'll beat the shit out of you.
But he never would back down. To me though, you say skinny. I always imagined him, and I don't know this for sure, but this is how I'm coming to this fight, understanding what he looked like. He was one of those skinny, strong guys. He was real skinny, but for whatever reason, his muscles were super defined.
Those
his biceps
really tan old men.
His biceps were the most average size, but for some reason they were so defined that they looked huge.
Because the whole thing of it was an iron cable.
When you see one of those guys who is super skinny, but for whatever reason their chest looks ripped. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There should be no definition there, but for whatever reason it looks like he's got pecs on
they were
him.
either really into fitness or they survived the Holocaust.
That's how I imagine Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, I think so too. It's kind of like Popeye. Hugh Hefner reminds me of Popeye. They have the same jaw, I think.
So there you go. So I think he could take a punch too, and I'm sure he has.
Anyone who can survive Hillary Clinton for that long has got to be a tough guy, man.
Yeah, so that's another fair way to look at it because, as we know, she kills people.
But he
also
kills
might kill
people. I think that
but he doesn't call the shots. Like, come on, Bill Clinton's never called a shot in his life.
All right, I can subscribe. I can subscribe to that. But
I didn't think about that though. See, now that levels the playing field again.
I think it does because by what you're saying there, Bill Clinton is not necessarily a self-made guy, although he certainly would be in some ways. He has, Hillary potentially or whoever, Nancy Reagan style, like telling him what to do, feeding him all the stuff, and he's just kind of the face of all this, like going along. Whereas Hugh Hefner obviously built that business from the ground up. He's
his own man.
Exactly. He saw a gap in the market and he filled it. And they filled a lot of gaps over at Playboy.
A lot of gaps got filled.
Quick summary.
Quick summary. Bill Clinton, his gaps were filled for him by Hillary, whereas Hugh Hefner filled his own gaps.
So if everything we're saying is true, then the style coming into this is Bill Clinton. One, I think that guy has got to be full of confidence. They both are, but Bill Clinton in the sense that he's so confident that he is going to be able to overpower Hugh quickly, that he'll like rush in there and just be ready to like grab him and like beat him up.
Disagree with. I don't think that Bill Clinton has very much self-confidence. I think that Hillary Clinton talks down to him on a daily basis. Like he is kind of her bitch.
Okay, so even if he doesn't have that self-confidence, I think the self-loathing in that way leads to the same thing that still leads to what I was saying.
His interest in this fight is Hillary, like, if you don't fucking win this fight, like, I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some threats. Yeah. Like, don't embarrass our fucking name kind of thing.
You think that's what he needs to motivate him? I don't know if I agree with that.
I think she owns
I feel
him.
like
She scares me more than he does.
Here's what I think.
Hillary versus Hugh Hefner.
Yeah,
Hillary versus.
It's pretty much what that's how I see this fight going. It's like Hillary's in his corner, screaming like, "Bill, you better fucking win this one." She probably doesn't swear, but
I think that Bill Clinton has a huge ego. That's what I'm saying now, and I think that the idea of besting Hugh Hefner would be plenty enough motivation for him, because that's like he feels like that's a notch on his belt.
Which I would agree I haven't.
But Hugh, he is just it's David versus Goliath. He's basically just waiting for Clinton to make a mistake, and then he'll spider monkey up that
climb him like a tree.
I also think that like those
down.
What'd you call them? Arkansas fists. When you said that, I pictured like one of the biggest fists I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty
like
solid.
Like some real working man's fists that are just like oversized.
Yeah, I think even with those, I don't know that.
I don't think I'll come right out and say I don't think he wins. I have one joke that I'm going to wait to make because we have to end the segment right as I make it.
There's nothing better than teasing a joke for people, because the thing about it is it always holds up. It never disappoints when somebody does that. So it's got to be Hefner in this fight.
Yeah.
I think that he's too methodical. I really think he's a smart guy. Also, seeing so many people, famous people, probably a lot of big egos, come in and out of his mansion all the time, he knows how to deal with people. And that guy can read people like a book, and he's going to be able to read Bill Clinton and completely take advantage of him.
Yeah, this isn't supposed to be like a pun by any means, but like he's probably big dick to a lot of people. Like people walk in there and he's like, "This is my fucking house."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People that most people wouldn't stand up to. Like I could see Hugh Hefner being pissed at Mark Wahlberg a lot. That's just how. Yeah.
I think Marky Mark knows where to keep his hands.
Okay. Fair.
I'm on the Hefner train.
Okay. I agree with that.
All right.
And it wasn't so much a joke; it was more of an off-color comment. But my last comment was going to be Hefner, unless Baby baby blood does more for people than we think. But that was my joke, and I'm going to get past it. Yeah. So Hefner all around the board.
Yep.
That will be
We'll lock it in.
on the Instagram story Friday morning. Make sure you vote. And if you think that Bill Clinton would win this fight, I would really love to hear why. And we have a place you can do that.
Yep.
At 4 p.m. on Fridays, Clubhouse, Andrew Canada. Debate it. Let us know why you're wrong. And we're going to have a blast there, too.